Walk into any tech event today and it still looks like the same story. New phones, new laptops, new gadgets being introduced like they're the main attraction. But if you pay closer attention, you start to notice something different. The device is no longer the real focus, it's just the entry point. Because what tech companies actually care about now is the ecosystem behind it. And that shift is quietly redefining how the entire industry works. For a long time, the strategy was simple. Build the best device, better camera, faster performance, more advanced hardware, and if your product was better, you won. That was the competition. But today, that approach isn't enough, because hardware has reached a point where most devices are already very good. The differences between them are smaller, less noticeable, less meaningful to the average user. So companies had to find a new way to compete, and they found it in ecosystems. An ecosystem is not just a product, it's a connected experience. Your phone, your laptop, your watch, your apps, your storage, your subscriptions, all working together as one system. And that system is where the real value is being created. Because a single device can only do so much. But a connected system can shape your entire digital life. And once that system is in place, everything changes. The first reason ecosystems matter is retention. Selling a device is a one-time event, but keeping a user inside an ecosystem creates ongoing value. If your phone is connected to your apps, your cloud storage, your files, your payments, and your daily habits, switching becomes harder, not because you can't switch, but because you don't want to rebuild everything. And that's the key. Ecosystems create friction around leaving. Not obvious friction, not forced, but practical friction. Time, effort, disruption. So instead of thinking, should I switch to a better phone? You start thinking, do I want to leave everything else behind? And that question is much harder to answer. That's why ecosystems are so powerful. They don't just attract users, they keep them. Another reason is revenue. A device generates money once, but an ecosystem generates money continuously. Subscriptions, app purchases, cloud services, upgrades, accessories. All of these become part of the system. So instead of one transaction, companies build an ongoing relationship. And that relationship is far more valuable over time, because the longer you stay, the more you use. And the more you use, the more value is created for both you and the company. There's also a shift in how people use technology. It's no longer about one device doing everything. It's about multiple devices working together. You start something on your phone, continue it on your laptop, finish it on another device. Your data moves with you. Your experience stays consistent. And that continuity is what people now expect. Not just performance, but seamlessness. And seamlessness only comes from ecosystems, not individual products. Then there's differentiation. Hardware is becoming harder to differentiate. Most devices look similar, perform similarly, offer similar features, so companies need something else to stand out. And ecosystems provide that, because no two ecosystems are exactly the same. They differ in how they connect, how they integrate, how they feel to use. So the competition shifts from product versus product to system versus system. Which ecosystem is easier? Which one feels more natural? Which one fits into your life without effort? And once that becomes the competition, the strategy changes completely. Companies stop focusing only on making better devices. They focus on making better connections between devices, better syncing, better integration, better continuity. Because the experience becomes the product, not just the hardware. There's also a psychological layer to this. The more you invest in an ecosystem, the more committed you become. Your data is stored there, your habits are built there, your preferences are saved there. So leaving doesn't just mean switching a device, it means losing familiarity, rebuilding routines, learning something new, and most people avoid that, so they stay. Not because they're forced, but because it's easier. And that's exactly what companies want. But there's something even deeper happening: control. When a company owns the ecosystem, it controls the entire experience, from hardware to software to services. It decides how everything works together, how updates are delivered, how features are introduced. And that level of control allows companies to optimize everything: performance, security, user experience, even monetization. Because once you're inside the system, the company can expand it. add new services, introduce new features, offer new subscriptions. And all of it feels natural, because it fits into what you're already using. That's why ecosystems keep growing. More products, more services, more connections. Not just to add value, but to strengthen the system. Because the stronger the system, the harder it is to leave. And here's where the biggest shift happens. Devices are becoming less important on their own. A phone is no longer just a phone. A laptop is no longer just a laptop. They are interfaces, ways to access the ecosystem. Their job is not just to perform well, but to connect you to everything else. So the real value is not in the device itself. It's in what the device connects you to. And that's a completely different way of thinking about technology, because it means the device is replaceable, but the system is not. So when you step back and look at the bigger picture, the strategy becomes clear. Tech companies are not trying to win you with a single product. They're trying to build the environment you stay in, an environment where everything works together, everything feels connected, and everything keeps you engaged, because once you're inside that environment, every future decision becomes easier. You upgrade within the system. You buy within the system. You stay within the system. And that's why ecosystems matter more than devices. Because devices can win attention, but ecosystems win loyalty. And in today's market, loyalty is far more valuable than a single sale. So while it still looks like companies are competing through hardware, the real competition is happening somewhere else, in the systems behind those devices. And the companies that build the strongest systems are the ones that win.